Welcome, welcome to Oak Grove Center for Spiritual Living. Do we have any first-time visitors?
Yes.
Oh, welcome. She's right there, smack in the middle. I just want to tell you, this is a little bit different this morning. We don't usually sit this close, but you know, I feel like today is a special day. We've been through a lot as a community, and it seemed like after the storm, every place I went, people were wanting to talk about their experiences. That they were wanting to share where they'd been and what was happening and how they got through it and how their lives intersected with other people, just all kinds of things. And I thought it would be an opportunity for us, that I would allow our congregation the opportunity to share a little bit about their experience, but from the perspective of gratitude, of just being grateful for what we've come through, for the fact that it wasn't worse than it was, that we have this amazing place that we can come to, and the idea that gratitude can always lift you to another level. You know, I went to the prison earlier this week on Thursday night, and they'd had a particularly rough day. And we do this kind of ritual when we start, where I have everyone speak something that they're grateful for, only there's a little hitch to it, in that once someone says something, no one else can repeat it. So if someone says, I'm grateful for my kids, then you have to say, I'm grateful for something else. And it goes on. And when the group is large, it gets interesting, right? Nobody wants to be the last one, so I usually take that spot. So at any rate, the guys were really, again, it had a rough day. I don't know exactly what happened, but prison is a very different world than this, let me just tell you. So they were having trouble coming up with things, and one said, I just can't even think of anything to be grateful for right now. I said, well, dig deep, because this is the time that you really need to find something to be grateful for. Because in having that gratitude and sharing that gratitude, it expands. Right? Gratitude expands the blessings that we already have, and you can build to a higher place from that space of gratitude. So I want to open up the floor this morning, give everyone actually an opportunity to share something that they are grateful for. You don't have to share a whole lot. You're welcome to pass, totally welcome to pass. I'm not sure how many people we have in here, but it looks like at least 50. So think about it. If everybody took a minute to share, we'd be out of here at noon. We don't want to do that. So again, feel free to pass if that's what you would like to do. But I just feel like there is so much that we have to be grateful for. And this being a little break in the action here, that we build then and we go forward as community from that space of gratitude. And by the way, our theme for this month is community service. Community service. So just be thinking about that. And I think maybe we'll just go in concentric in the circles, if that's okay with everyone?
Sure.
Yes. All right, terrific. So let me see. I've got it.
Great.
Is this the deal where we can't say whatever somebody else says?
This isn't prison rules.
It doesn't have to be prison rules. You want to go first? All right. How about that? We have 39 people. All right. Thank you for counting. Thank you. And you can say your name. Yeah, say your name so we know who everyone is.
Hi, I actually don't live here in Ocala. I live in Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale, south of here, is much different. Our storm was much different than your storm was up here, but I understand that each and every person has their own unique experience, and I believe that we've had a lot of blessings and gifts that actually came from the storm. And I'm blessed that my friends up here in Ocala have opened and welcomed their arms to have me come up here after the storm, because we didn't have electricity. And some people didn't have it, just got it a few days ago, so I'm just blessed for that.
Yes, thank you. That's a good idea. You know, it's one of those things you don't even realize how much you miss it until it's not there. And I thought, we lost our electricity also for from Sunday to Wednesday, which in some circles was relatively short. Losing water, that was a whole other deal. The electricity we could, kind of do without, but being without water was difficult. And again, when you look at the big scheme of things, it was like not that big a deal when some people have lost their homes and their livelihoods and so many other things. So basically, we were inconvenienced. But my gratitude, I will say, is that the day before the storm, we had a little prayer service in here. We didn't have a whole lot of time to get the word out, so there were not a lot, but raise your hands if you were here for that service. And there's a lot to prep this place. And people showed up in a big way, yes, and we got it done, and Oak Brook suffered minimal damage, minimal. And the fact that we'd taken down some trees earlier in the year, I think was very helpful as well, because we only lost one tree. It did look like a hurricane blowed through, but again, minor inconvenience. So I'm very grateful for that. Next.
I'm Grady, Cindy's husband. I love the paradox of the chicken or the egg. Is it the circumstance that presents itself that makes you grateful, or is it the attitude of gratitude there already and then the circumstances just blow through? And I think with Centers for Spiritual Living, I think we know that the gratitude comes first. If you're in a space of gratitude, a hurricane can't knock you off. If you're in a space of nothing, depression, indecision, then a hurricane can rock you off your foundation. Always stay in gratitude, and the takeaway for me today is live in gratitude today, all week, and just see how the circumstances present themselves with things to be grateful for, things you wouldn't expect. I'm very grateful for all of you. I'm so grateful for so many things that I can't point one out. So I'll use my default. I'll go with a sports analogy. I love my Florida Gators.
Go Gators!
They have 9 players on suspension that were arrested for some sort of a credit card fraud. I don't know the details. But rather than look at them with shame and with disgust and with anger, which a lot of people have, look at the opportunity for the second string and the third string players to have a chance to play now that wouldn't have had a chance to play before. And look at the opportunity for those suspended players to learn from this and grow from this, and they'll be better human beings after this. They're kids. Right. The older I get, the more I realize these are 19-year-old kids playing on TV, and we're all yelling and screaming at the TV. They're just 19-year-old kids. They make mistakes. So I'm sure there are some players grateful for the chance to play.
Keep one mic going. Nice, take it easy. My name is Shanna. For those of you that don't know, I am one of what I have started to call church ladies up here at Oak Brook. There's about 10 of us that are up here a lot, and we love it. My gratitude that has come out of this, it's not really one specific thing, but I have met so many new people over the last couple of weeks in particular, getting ready for it and then since it. It's been awesome, and I love meeting new people to begin with, and the circumstances that come around it where everyone else's attitude is changing as well, and you get to see that, and people come to you with, hey, I need help, and you're like, okay, I can help you. And then you get to look at someone else and go, hey, can you help me with this? And then you get to turn around and go, let me help you with that. It's the ability to be of service to other people and to allow someone else to help you. Don't ever block. If someone says, let me help you, don't ever say, no, I got it. And it's just because you're blocking that person's flow. And it's just amazing when it gets going and it really gets to reel in the energy that can be presented. So it's been cool for me to see a lot of people be able to grow that way.
Okay, so if we're talking about like things we're grateful for, I guess this week, especially for me, I've been super grateful for friendship. I had a really rough week at school this week, and one of my best friends, who's been there for me since I transferred, was there for me consistently. Every day I knew I could text her if something bad happened, and she would, be there and help, like, talk about it, help calm me down. And Friday, we were at a volleyball game, and in about our third set, we were finally coming back from a really bad loss in the first set. And the third set, we were doing super good, and she fell and dislocated her shoulder. And this girl, she's in 10th grade, it's about this tall, but she's probably about the most boss lady I have ever met in my life. She's one of those people, like, you never see her down, like, she's always smiling, always helping someone, but she was on the ground sobbing, and it destroyed me. It was bad, but, you know, she got fixed, and she was texting me, and she's all upset because, you know, she's lost, you know, she can't do anything with her arm, with her dominant arm right now. And so she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just feel so useless. And being able to give that friendship back and that uplifting spirit to her, like, you know, it's just to be able to give and take with that in friendships is just one of the most gratifying feelings to me in the world. To be able to just give and take and just make each other happy, and, you know, not even with just one person, but just everybody. And I just think that's amazing, and that's what I'm thankful for.
Well, my name's Aiden, and I am grateful for this week would be getting my college CF steps to college scholarship. So plus on that day I did all my homework. So
Your parents are grateful too.
That's huge. Congratulations.
My name's Anthony. I'm grateful for expectation. Christina and I have been together a short time, and we have a blended family. It's been really tough, and none of it was ever expected. We've been working on behavior issues and things that are bettering everyone as a whole, rather than one expectation. That's the expectance of non-expectation, and that's what I'm grateful for.
Can I say something about how interesting it is that when we hit a place where there's conflict, where there's challenge, that it is always an opportunity to come together at a higher level. You know, it may feel like a mess in the moment. It may feel difficult and messy, kind of like remodeling your house or cleaning your closet, where everything comes out and it looks like a big disaster. But when you bring it back, I didn't mean that. Yeah, our house, right? But it gives you the opportunity to bring it back at a higher level, like remodeling your house ends up being something way more beautiful than what it started out with. You get rid of the old and you bring in what you want. And so it's always an opportunity. So thank you for bringing that up.
Hi, I'm Christina with a K. I am grateful for a lot. My children and I have gone through a lot in the last 4 years, and this place and all of you wonderful people have been here for us through the whole thing, and we have family here, and that is something I've never stopped being grateful for, like every minute of every day. The storm, we were worried that our little house that's old and not very well built wasn't going to stand up, so us and many other people joined Donna and Norma at their home, which was awesome that they were able to open up their house to people. And it was nice because they've been out of town and they didn't have a chance to get supplies, everything was gone, so we had supplies and then other people had stuff, and everybody brought stuff and came together, and it was amazing. It was the kids got along great, everybody had a good time. It was really great family atmosphere, and I was really, really grateful that we have, hurricane party, extended family that you can turn to at times like that, and they're always here. So I'm grateful for them always, and for my new family. Very, very, very grateful for that. Find somebody to be with and feel like a partner with. So life is good. Very happy.
Let me add to that, not just the hurricane, but Don and Norma have opened their house to so many people and touched so many lives. We're all very grateful for what y'all do.
I came here and cleaned out the refrigerator and freezer, just so you know. It's a little messy here that they took care of that too, so thank you for all the things you do.
My name is Viva Perez, and I am grateful for this community. I wasn't here during the storm. I was in California and I got stuck out there. So I couldn't even return on my flight. And my daughter lost all power, everything. And my heart, although I was there, my heart was here with my family. And it continues to be now as another community in Puerto Rico with my family there. I'm grateful that I get to have a family like that I get to worry about others like I do. That I can be somewhere and my heart can be in other people's lives. I am grateful that I have so many friends, that I have a community that I can think about and pray about. And I am blessed in so many ways by having that community and that family as a part of my life. So when I look at all this disasters going on around us, I see it as a cleansing of something greater coming along. The power in Puerto Rico is completely gone, but that's telling them that when you build again, you'll build better. So I know that that's going to be their truth, and we're going to have an island that's once again magnificent and beautiful and the place to go to. I know that all the people here in Ocala who are still without power are building something greater. So allow for that cleansing to come so you can see the greatness in what you are capable of. That's what I'm grateful for.
Let's keep this. Well, I'm going to read a little something from Ken Gordon, who is the leader of our movement regarding so many of the disasters and things that are going on around us that we offer prayer. And for Mexico, it's everywhere. It's just incredible, the things that are going on around us. So we hold everyone in prayer.
Yes.
Courage changed your mind. She lost her courage. For now.
Okay. My name is Shanika. I'm grateful for, of course, my friendships with these ladies. I wanted to tell you that you look beautiful today, and I wanted to tell you look stunning. And I really like your shoes. But I'm just grateful for the beauty around me. I want to speak into existence that I'm grateful for everything in my new house to be fixed. And I'm grateful for me and my landlord working out our issues. I'm also grateful for it was hard to get here today, so I'm just grateful to be here. I feel like 1,000 times better than what I did. So of course I'm grateful for the hurricane issue. We stayed over there and we felt safe. We were very safe, and they took care of us. I don't think we had to contribute much because they had so much stuff that they brought. And they left us with a lot of beautiful things, so we really appreciate that. And I just want to be grateful for the women that's raising, and you guys raising young kids. And I know it's hard because a lot of kids now have so much energy, but if you take the time to work with them, these kids are so magical, and I think they're really going to change the world. So I just wanted to say thank you for the courage to raise kids, because I have 3 and it takes a lot of courage. That's why I named her Courage.
Good morning, I am Norma, and I am grateful for normalcy. And I'm Donna, the other half of Normal B. And my biggest thing that I'm in gratitude about is that this building is still standing, and that no one with ill will found this building to do anything to it while it was down and vulnerable during the storm. And I'm grateful that all our equipment still works beautifully. There was no water damage. I'm grateful that Oak Brook still stands so that we can be a beacon of hope for those who come through those doors. And that's my biggest gratitude, because my heart was here in this building the whole time sending prayers. Because this place does things to families and to individuals. And if it's not here, then we won't have this place to come back to. And all of us, I'm sure, can attest to that feeling when you walk through the door of being at home and saying, it's my safe place. And that's, for me, I'm glad. I just sit in awe and gratitude for that.
Morning, I'm Renee, and in this moment I am highly grateful for space and time. The time and the space to do what I need to do when I need to do it, and the understanding that I can't always be what other people expect. It's not always going to look pretty. It may be a hot mess sometimes, but I do what I can when I can. And a side note, if this place wasn't here, we'd probably be in your house.
True. We have a service.
That has been a space for me as well. So as we all go around, I'm like, how many of us have been there? And it just keeps going. So I am so grateful for every single person that has opened their life to me just fully. Renee, come here, do this, whatever you need. And there's tons of you. And I appreciate every single one of you and hold y'all in gratitude. And when I can't lift myself up, that y'all hold space for me. I love you.
My name is Ron. I'm grateful for all of that stuff too. Particularly for the building that was on my mind, because this old place has dodged a bunch of things over the last 30 or 40 years, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm also grateful that I have the opportunity to share my life.
Yeah.
We love you, Ron.
Well, that was pretty tacky to start crying just before you had me and expect me to speak. I'm grateful that I can speak. And I am so grateful. There's just more than I can tell you that I'm grateful for. As with Cindy, I do know a little bit more about what went on at the prison. And one of the guys last night said, you know, but it was okay. Because so many of us who came together with the same ideas, and it helped us to grow. And I thought, if these guys can find these things to be grateful for in the circumstances that they experienced, what in the world could I not be grateful for? I am so grateful for the opportunity to be able to continue to serve and to grow. And as I told my daughter this week, this place and this teaching is of the utmost importance to me, because I truly, truly believe this teaching. I've been in it for so many years, and I've seen so many changes, and I've seen so much growth. And so no matter what happens, because I have to tell you, I get irritated with some of you people sometimes. I really do. I mean, you piss me off sometimes. But
We're doing our job.
that's what I said, okay. I'm grateful I needed that. And it is true. So much of the experience I've had in the last 3 weeks has made me grow to where I must be 85 now, and I didn't even know it. But I am so grateful for the opportunity to continue to grow and to expand.
I want to say another talk about these two, about Gail and Ron. You know, there was a day this week that, or last week, I don't even know, I'm in a time warp. I don't even know what it is. But we had scheduled a cleanup day, and we didn't have electricity. So we kept coming by every day, we'd come and look and see, have they fixed it, and had been fixed, and who was here cleaning up and with all of that mess with Ron Clark. Ron Clark, yeah. And Barbara, yes, and where's Kelly? Oh my gosh, thank you, Kelly. I think she's back there hiding somewhere, she likes to stay incognito. But we were gone I was gone for 2 weeks before the storm even hit. And my office looked like a hurricane before the hurricane. And I came back and it was clean, and Kelly did that for me, and I just was so And while he reminded me, he's sitting right over there, I want you to all know that is a special guest and visitor. He is one of my former classmates, I say former because I'm not in school anymore, and neither is he, because he is now the Reverend Jerry Gray. Oh, Wayne Dyer. Yes. We're so glad. Here from Sarasota. Yes, so we're very grateful to have Jerry here.
It's a thrill to be here.
Is Jerry the one that was helping me in Sarasota with the bubble?
Yes.
Okay, we
Yes.
did good.
I did good on what?
I was working on that bubble around Sarasota.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
so, and my friend sent me a picture of the radar that showed where the bubble
hard.
was. Yeah, so we did
Went
good.
right around,
Yeah, thank
right
you.
around Sarasota.
Yeah.
I'll
Get the
say my
mic.
grateful.
Just get the mic.
Oh, there's
And
two
then we'll-
mics around.
Make it easy for Tate to see the same.
Stay in the center. You made it well.
The bubble, those of us in Sarasota say no hurricane can hit Sarasota, and we're right on the water. So we intention it. We use the power of mind and intention it. I had some situations, and I just fell off the block. And my daughter, who grew up in this, called me from California and said, "Dad, you're doing a really crappy job with that hurricane." That's when the Cat 4 was coming right up at us. She said, "You want me to take over?" And I said, "Sure." And that's when it went inland and then came around in half a heart shape. Now, I'm grateful for that. I know some people where it finally hit them who said, "How could you send it to us?" And I said, "Well, you have to do your part too."
Right.
But I'm grateful for this belief, this awareness, this knowing. And if people say it's crazy that we move hurricanes, I say, no, nothing's impossible. So I'm grateful. I'd like to be grateful for one other thing. I got to practice something that I learned a long time ago from a lady who's huge in our movement, Dr. Barbara Waterhouse. And Barbara, one time in a class I was in, said, if someone that offers you something or gives you something, you only can do one thing, and that is to say, I'm thankful. I haven't been home for a week and a half, and the hurricane had come through. My home was not hurt. I lost 5 big trees. They got cut up and taken away. But in all of this, I had no electricity. I still haven't seen electricity. I drink a mixed drink that I run with a blender. People said, come to my house, do this, use my stuff. The places I've showered has been very interesting. And all I can say is thank you. When people want to offer, you're really slighting them if you don't accept and you don't say thank you. And it's been wonderful.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. And thanks for having me. This is a blessing.
You know, Meister Eckhart said, if you said one prayer in your whole life, it was only one prayer, let it be a prayer of gratitude.
If all you have to say, that is enough.
That is enough.
Where we going with mine? Oh, he's got it.
Rick's got it.
Yeah,
Push it and it goes green.
there we go, okay.
These are newfangled, I'm not
You want
accustomed.
this one? You still know
We should keep the, for people, these are just the same way.
Yeah. Put that one away.
Okay, so it seems like it's going back the other way, kind of like the labyrinth. I'm Rick, and in a larger and I guess altruistic sense, I'm grateful that all of us are here, and all those that we know and we love are here to be grateful. I mean, it could have been so much worse. Frankly, I was scared. I will admit I was scared. I've I've lived in Florida since, well, before the mouse moved into Orlando, and have been through a lot of hurricanes. Some of them pretty scary. Others have been, you know, like, is that the best you could do? But I never like to say that, but still, this one scared me, because this one was big, it was bad, and was fully capable of putting a whooping on us. And in many places it did. I'm grateful that it didn't do what it could have here. I'm grateful that for my family, we came through relatively unscathed. We were protected, we were safe. Heck, Susan slept through most of it. But I was also grateful that Derek was 1,200 miles away and was definitely safe. Brandon was working overnight at a strong, well-built hotel, so I knew he was safe. It was just the two of us at home, and the cats. Yeah, can't forget the cats. They slept through it too. I think I'm the only one who didn't sleep through it. But we came through it very, very, relatively unscathed. We only lost power for 19 and a half hours. So that was, I feel like we are definitely one of the, among the fortunate ones, because I read and hear so many others who were without power, without water, without a lot of many things. And you know, it's like, I am so very grateful that that the bubble, your bubble had a place around our house too. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I knew that.
Very good. Thank you. Again, thank you.
Hi, I'm Susan. I'm grateful that we had the service before the hurricane. It really put everybody into the right headspace, got us all centered, got us all thinking in the positive direction. And I had something happen during that service. It's going to sound really weird, but it changed my life. It was a service for safety and protection. And when I left that service, I felt my father with me. My father and I did not part on good terms. And he passed in 2012. And when he showed up, I was thinking, what are you doing here? Go away. I don't want to talk to you. And he stuck with me. During his lifetime, he never told me he loved me. But during the storm, I felt his love. And he was with me in that storm. And that's why I was at peace. That's why I knew we were going to be okay. And that's how I could sleep. And he is with me still. I mean, right now. He's very strong right now. And in the last couple of weeks since the hurricane, I've been working toward a lot of acceptance for things that happened. And I'm also working toward forgiveness. And even though he's gone, he's with me. And we actually have a better relationship now than when he was here. So I want to say thank you to all the ancestors because I know that all of our loved ones beyond the veil, and even those that are not so loved, have been with us, have been strong with us, and have been doing everything they can to protect us until we see them again. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Susan. A huge gift.
Good morning. My name is Josie Ramos, and I'm very grateful. Well, I'm grateful for many things. I thank God every morning when I just simply wake up just to be here. But I'm very grateful to have been of service to others during the storm, and was able to take in a few families, which is wonderful. It's a great blessing, and we turned it into a party. You know, brought out the dominoes and just brought out the lights, and we had a party. So we're not going to be worried about it. We prayed about it, and knew that we were going to be okay. And I'll have you know that I even prayed about my plants, and because I had just started a few plants from Puerto Rico that I was concerned about, and even the plants, even though trees on the next street came down, my plants were okay. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing when you turn to the Lord. I haven't heard from half of my family in Puerto Rico. I heard from half and not the other half. But, you know, they were prayed over, so I know that they're okay. So I'm not worried about them. They're in the Lord's hands, so I know they're fine. So I'm grateful for a lot of things. Thank you.
Apparently his bubble's going all over the world, apparently.
I'm Barbara, and during the storm I was nervous to stay in my mobile home by myself. So I went to a shelter, and it was great. I had people around that, you're sleeping on the floor with 20 strangers in your room, but that was okay. I met a new friend, and actually I'm sure it's an old friend, something karmic, past life, instant connection. And once the storm was past and we could leave the shelter, he came home with me to help clean up and just make sure everything was okay, which it was. I had, tons of debris, but no damage. Everything was fine, and he helped clean up and stayed until it was time for him to go on. And I don't know that our paths will ever cross again, but I'm so grateful for the experience.
I'm Ken. Good morning. I understand we had a hurricane. It takes a while, I know, so the thing is that I am grateful every time I come to Oak Brook, because I am reminded as I look around that we live on a planet and it's full of people, that every one of them is God in expression. That's what I'm grateful for, to be reminded. I always know that. And we go through life that way. It's not bad.
Maybe all over.
Well, I'm Estridge.
It's on.
And I know I'm blessed. And I can't, I don't see how anybody can say they wasn't afraid of this storm. A 500-mile diameter storm is covering Florida. And I think on the 11th, I think it was that Saturday before the storm. And they said the eye was coming into Ocala. And I have trees around my house that's like 70 foot tall. I was afraid. And living by yourself. And my kids calling me from Hawaii, nieces, and everybody called me saying that they was afraid for me. I said, don't worry, I'm okay, I'll be fine. But I was afraid. And so I went into meditation that Saturday about 2 o'clock. That was before that Sunday. and they said the storm would hit Ocala about 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, okay. So, my house is kind of large, it's long, so I made me a place in the middle of the house. And I said, well, if these trees fall, at least maybe I'll be protected. So I turned on the radio, turned the television off, and so I was there. So, 2 o'clock come. I never heard anything like that before in my life. And I looked outside. These trees was absolutely laying down on my house. They like 70 foot tall. I was looking at it time for them to break. And then something came over me and says, okay, you're okay. You're fine. So I just lay down and went to sleep. And then I heard this big tree fall. And what a noise this made. And it couldn't hit my house, but it broke in half. I had a lot of damage, trees, but you know something, my house was protected. I didn't even lose a shingle. It was just, I was really, I didn't have no worry after that. And then when they said that I was over Ocala, and I said, you know, I says, I don't know how we're gonna get through this, but I said, we're gonna get through it. And we did, we got through it. You know, everything is great. I had so much, and my yard was like a dump. And I couldn't get out of the garage for the limb. And my neighbors come over, one guy came over, I was sweeping with this big broom. I said, well, I gotta something cleaned up here a little bit. And I look around, there's a young guy there. And he says, I come to help you. And I said, oh, thank you. I said, I'll pay you. He said, I don't want to pay. I said, okay, I thank you very much. I look around, and there's a girl coming. And they look like they'd be in their 20s. They're my neighbors across. And I look around, there's another kid coming, another kid. So they said, we're going to clean your yard up for you. And they stayed there until 4 o'clock. That was 8 o'clock in the morning. They stayed till 4 o'clock cleaning. And then I took out the track and started cleaning up the leaves because they was cleaning up so nice. And you talking about, oh God, there's this stuff pile up. And then Susan, my lady, she came over and she says, quietly, she says, I have a tree that came down in my yard. And these kids, when she left, I didn't know they hear her. And these kids says, we want to look at that tree before we leave, if we can get finished before dawn. I said, that's a huge tree. I think you're not going to take that down. So they said, we want to see it. So they was finished at about 4:30. It was finished with my house. They went over and says, we're gonna work on that. They wiped that. They took that tree and just cleaned it out. And so I had to do something. So I went in the house. I wrote a check. And he says, I don't want any tax. So I just pushed it in his pocket. And I don't know if he will cash it or what, but I'll watch and see if he cash it. But it was worth it. They work. They work. That's what I say. We are blessed. I know I'm blessed. And I just think of all the other places that's chaos. Just look at Puerto Rico. We are so blessed. So I thank everybody for that. And I'm so grateful that the church is safe and everybody's safe. And we're here this morning. So let's give thanks.
I am Rich.
Hi,
Me too. And I am grateful for all I have, all I received, and all that's been taken away.
Yes.
Now, Gail, I feel like you passed it on to me after that. Anyway, I'm the other Gail, and maybe there's others. I'm not going to talk so much about the hurricane. I'm grateful right now because I moved here recently from New Mexico, and I was blessed to find a job with one of the hospices here. So in this later stage of my life, I get to sit with people that are in the latest stages of their lives, and I've watched some really fine people pass to the next level, and that's a blessing. But I'm also very grateful for this gathering of people here, that you're available, and I like the way we're set up. I hope maybe we can do this again, because it really does bring people together a little bit more than just in rows.
Yes, our community.
My name is Paula, and I'm grateful for having this opportunity to share some things that I'm very grateful for. My significant other in Fort McCoy has 9 acres and a mobile home, double wide. So he had to evacuate and come to my little apartment in Ocala with the 2 dogs. Anybody else have pets here?
Oh, yeah.
I heard there were 300 at Vanguard. Was anybody there? He was very blessed that I had this little apartment, and the dogs were not happy because they didn't have a doggy door and 9 acres to run around on. So we were out in the wind and rain walking these dogs at all hours. But very blessed. I don't know how, but my apartment complex never lost power. And even though I got ready for everything and put everything in the bathroom, and I still can't find things that I didn't want to lose, that I moved. Anybody else do that? Yeah. Still can't find things. But anyway, the worst thing that happened is he's used to a queen-size bed out in Fort McCoy, where I am 3 days a week, and he fell out of my twin-size bed. It did not knock any sense into him, but he did hurt his head and his arm, so that was like the worst thing. He lost about 7 trees on his property. It was very flooded, but the mobile home was fine, the shed was fine, so, and the dogs were fine. We were very blessed that he had a truck and 2 lawnmowers that we mow all the acres with. He had to, what do you call it, siphon out the gas, so he could use his generator, but I stayed in town with my electricity. And I'm actually really, really grateful for something this week. My son from up north, who's in law enforcement now, he was a teacher, and then he went and he was in the National Guard and ended up as law enforcement working 12-hour shifts and weirdo hours. But anyway, a couple of you know he had an operation in June, and I was there a month taking care of the grandkids and him. And my daughter-in-law was still working at that time. She's a teacher also. Anyway, he called my mother, who now lives in South Carolina, to tell her that he was going to come and visit her. So he's flying in next week, and that makes me be able to drive to South Carolina. So he hasn't seen his grandmother, my mother, for 2 years. So I am unbelievably blessed that, because once he goes back to work in 12-hour shifts, he will not be able to see my mom again, and she's 89 in December. So this is a very, very big thing that the 3 of us and my niece and nephew who live in South Carolina will be together. So I am unbelievably blessed with this miracle. So thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Shawana, and I am absolutely grateful that I can say, "What storm?" I didn't lose power, water, anything. I barely have little twigs in my yard. It was absolutely good, and I live really close to Rick and Susan, and they lost power. I didn't. My aunt lived really close, so she lost power, and the next day I was able to provide her with a hot meal because she didn't have power. So I am really grateful I didn't get in the storm.
Hi, my name is Cheyenne, and I'm really grateful that I have my beautiful family.
Address unknown. Hi, I'm Sender, and a few of you are going to be mad at me because I was really hoping the eye would go straight over my house. And as she said, we live right next to Susan. I wanted to go outside and experience that nice calm in the middle of the storm. But I'm grateful that my family has always been protected from whatever storms come. The storms don't avoid us. They just don't touch us. And that's economic, that's weather storms, any kind of storm. they'll just pass right over. I got my job that I currently have right at the beginning of this recent recession, and just a few other things, but we've always been well protected, and I hope everyone in here is just as well. I'm sure they are.
It's a wonderful thing to claim. Outside, Tep
You want Kelly's back there, you wanna say anything? Gratitude?
And Josh?
I'm sure.
Here you go.
Hi, I'm Shannon too. I am grateful for hugs because they say more than you can ever say with words, and they express more than you can ever say with words. And I'm grateful for endings because they create beginnings. And I am grateful for the family that I have now that replaced the toxic one that I let go of.
I'm back here behind my little wall, everybody. I would have to say that I am very grateful and thankful for everybody that we have become very good friends with, and to the new family that we have created here.
Got one more, do you want it, Josh?
Kelly says no.
Kelly, you could at least be thankful for me.
We forgot him.
All right, is there anyone we missed?
Back there.
That wants to say
No.
anything? All right.